Welcome another podcast episode of the Journey podcast, and this time a little different, special edition. I'm here in Bali, sitting with Maren. Welcome.
Thank you.
And what the story is, so I'll take you into it so you understand it also, is that actually a few weeks ago, a friend of mine. I spoke to him, Mike, and that's your friend for over a year now.
My boyfriend. Yeah.
Boyfriend, and yeah, boyfriend, very stupid. Her boyfriend,
Yeah.
and yeah, we were talking about like the challenge you faced in your life, where you're gonna talk about more
Yeah.
later on. Um, and yeah, it was such a special occasion, and I told her that I could help her with hypnosis. So she took the leap of faith and trusted me, which I appreciate, of course. And we started to do a session, and yeah, it was the start of something very well. How can we say it?
Beautiful.
Beautiful, yeah, beautiful. Your words, because in only one session we managed to really break through a big challenge for her for over 10 years, and yeah, I'm not gonna talk about it. I will, but she will talk about it even more. We want to use this podcast to really explain what the problem is, what a lot of women that she also know are facing. Maybe if you're watching or you're a friend or girlfriend of you, and it's about food related problems. I've seen in my work a lot of in the yeah, a few years ago, a lot of women with like problem with digestion and stuff, and yeah, a lot of the problems are stored in the mind and then affecting the body. And Maren had also an issue with that, and now we know she's over it, and she has a community. She's helping other women thrive in life. How she exactly does it, what she exactly does, uh, will uh, will Maren tell by herself. But yeah, I hope you understand a little bit more what we're gonna do now. We're gonna make it very clear what hypnosis did, how it works, what it did for her, and yeah, what we want to reach with this podcast also. So I would say enjoy this podcast. And yeah, let me start with yeah, why are we here?
Yeah. Why are we here? To kind of spread the word, I guess, about hypnosis, about what it can do, about what it did for me, and dive a bit into my story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because um, you came to me with a challenge problem. What do you want to describe for the people listening or watching what the
Yeah.
problem was?
So the problem was primarily that I always struggled with food since I was little. Ever since I can remember, and my parents have told me as well that I was a very picky eater as a child. And yeah, it was a struggle that evolved into, it transformed into an eating disorder later in life, even though for me, I never quite fit in that category, but my psychologist and everyone wanted to place me in a box, and I wanted answers, and I was young, and I was, yeah, I didn't have the knowledge I have today, and I put myself in that box,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started living by that kind of label and living as if I had anorexia, and that turned into me getting anorexia. I thought of
Mm-hmm.
it, at least. The roots was something else, but what you saw on the outside was a girl struggling with eating and bad eating and anorexia.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the psychologist gave you that label.
Yeah, they did.
What did that do to you?
Well, it made me kind of question everything about myself because some parts of me fit in there and some parts didn't. And then the more I kind of agreed to be in that box, the more it fit. I made it fit, basically, because I was young and I was growing and I was trying to become the person that you're meant to be. And then you're also young and you don't know what you should do and can do. You just listen to what, especially the doctors tell you. You're believing in them and they say that you have anorexia, and then you go home and you read up on anorexia. What is this? And yeah, just end up having it.
Yeah, and then you had it. Like, how old were you? By the way, I'm gonna check if this works. No, we're gonna keep it like here. I was like, I'm gonna hold it in my hand, but the cable's not so long. We just keep continuing. How old were you when you had this when you were aware like I have a problem with food?
Well, I think I was 10 when I realized myself that food was an issue. But the issue was I have fibromyalgia, which is like chronic like pain and inflammation in muscles and joints. And it's also making you very sensitive, like hypersensitivity. And we didn't know that at the time because usually you get diagnosis when you're in your 20s. So as a child, I was overly sensitive. I was not eating. Everything I ate gave me pain, and I didn't understand where the pain came from. And my parents didn't understand, and I ate sugars and sweets because that was kind of worth it. It's worth the pain. So I was just like the picky girl that didn't eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were 10 years old and
Yeah.
you ate sugars and sweets.
Yeah.
That was all you could eat.
Yeah. And I was very skinny. I was super skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How skinny were you? I saw pictures. How skinny were you? Maybe we can
It was in ninth grade. I was 29 kilos.
29 kilos.
29.
Is it okay if we do a picture, put a picture in like the screen?
Yeah, I can find one.
One of the pictures you should like to see,
Yeah.
like if you see her now, it's a way big difference, but that's where we come later because that's where we now. But I saw the picture, I was like,
Yeah.
is this even humanly?
Yeah.
And but you only ate sugars and sweets.
Yeah.
How did you felt like back then? If you think back, how did you, yeah, how did you feel?
I felt shit because I wanted to eat and I wanted to be like all the other people, and I was not. And yeah, I just never fit in, and just struggling because my sister was, she was always perfect. I'm the middle child, and I have a big sister and a younger brother. And I always looked up to my big sister, like I was trying to wear her clothes, but they always fell off. And I was trying to eat the same as she did, but every time I ate, my body rejected it, and it was just hard. And then came the psychologists and everything because my parents started to worry a bit because as a child, you have children that are picky eaters, and but then I was kind of singled out a bit because I was so skinny, and then people started being worried. And I didn't think of it as an issue before I started going to the psychologist, and they said like, oh, this might be something, you might have an eating disorder because you don't eat and you can just like voluntarily shut it off, and that's not normal. And yeah, it's kind of where it was and made me feel shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine weighing like 29 kilograms,
Yeah.
like no energy,
Yeah.
empty. And um, fast forward, like what did you do? Like you went to psychologist. What did you do to solve this? Or did you even want to solve this?
Well, I wanted to, but at the same time, you're a child and you just hear that there's something wrong with you, and that kind of defines who you are. And also, as I said, I'm a middle child, and it got me attention. And I think without even realizing it, I was kind of sucking in that attention, that love, um, because finally I was, my parents saw me, of course, but all of a sudden you're a middle child and you're getting all of the attention, and the teacher's pet because
Yeah.
they always are like, did you eat your lunch today? Like, what did you eat? And getting that was better than getting no attention. So for me, that was kind of something, the sicker I was, the more love I felt, which is also quite horrible to think about as a child, that that is kind of what you're forming into, and that's building your identity off of that. It's also a bit sad. Yeah.
And that's what we already talked about, like that you got love when you didn't eat.
Yeah.
So that was like the positive intention that you got out of it. And it's not even good for you,
No.
but it fed your needs.
Yeah, it did.
So, and that's crazy. Like that's why you kept reinforcing it. They kept reinforcing it by finding it okay, by complimenting it. Like, nah, yeah, by giving it attention, and you felt worthy and loved.
Yeah.
That's what we all want.
But they also had to give it attention because if they didn't, so it's a bit like it's a never-ending circle. Like, what should you do as a teacher, as a parent, as a close friend
Yeah.
in that situation? Should you just like shut it down? But then that person that feels like shit already feels like more shit, or should you actually like reward or whatever when they
Yeah.
thrive? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't might not have the knowledge to go deeper. You don't expect it from them. They do their best.
Yeah, they do.
But you see, if you looking back, it kept it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kept it there.
Absolutely.
The problem was still active. And so, what was the biggest challenge for you then going through all of this? Like, when did you realize like this is really a problem?
I think when I was like 16, 17, because when I was like, I don't know, 13, and they put like the anorexia diagnosis on, and like an early stage, like this could be anorexia, we don't know, you're too young yet, you're just highly depressed and you don't eat. And yeah, I don't know, I think when I was like 16, I was 39 kilos at the time, so I was getting up a bit. And the thing is with me, I was always happy when I gained weight, but then I knew I had anorexia, what I was told, and that told me that contradicted kind of my feeling of being happy.
Mm-hmm.
It made me go to the mirror and look at all the imperfections instead of being happy that I was happy. I was sad that I was happy, because why was I happy when I had anorexia and was supposed to be sad? Which was also very weird. Like you're trying to figure out who you are, and you're having a kind of a label telling you should be this, and then that contradicts what you're actually feeling.
Yeah.
And instead of being strong and saying like this isn't me, I just wanted to please everyone around me, and I wanted to just fit in that box that they placed me in, because then we at least had an answer to why I was feeling food.
Exactly.
It was an answer, we could all kind of lean on that answer, but it's hard.
To tell it very right. Also challenging, a lot of conflicts, right? And also not knowing what to do. So you keep going, like repeating it all the time.
Yeah.
But do you want to tell us a little bit more, a little bridge to what work you did? Because I told you already, you understand the theory quite well. So that's nice to hear, and also makes it why why you can explain it so well, of course, because you can watch the problem, talk about it, but also like in it, but also watching it and explaining it. What did you do that you know a lot about like human behavior and stuff?
Well, I used to work in child protective services a bit.
Child protective services. Yeah.
So then you kind of work with people. I also worked in I was doing education for working in like preschool and kindergarten, to work with humans and people, and you learn a bit about like the psychological needs, the physical needs, everything, emotional needs. So you learn quite a lot about human behavior, and why people are acting the way they are, when different stages of your brain and of your biology is done developing. So it's a bit, you're getting a bit of knowledge for that as well. So I think I carry that with me as well, that I knew that it was not supposed to be this way, but still I was too scared to kind of break out of it.
Yeah. So with the knowledge you have,
Yeah.
and it's still very much of a challenge, and you said like to break out of it, what is in your eyes the hard part of this challenge? Like, why keep people staying stuck? Why stay people stuck in this food related? Let's keep it on the food. Like the relationship with food, especially for women.
Food and
Why do people food and
self-image
and self-image? Yeah, it's very related, of course, related. Why do people what
keeps them stuck?
Yeah, what makes them stuck?
Habits, old habits and old beliefs, and you're constantly reinforcing your own belief. You're telling yourself you shouldn't eat, and then you don't eat, so you're sending a signal to your body that that was the right thing to do. And also, as we spoke about, for me, getting the love and the attention, like every time I made new friends or whatever, and I felt them drifting away, something inside of me, and I didn't even realize until me and you had that talk before my session, that every time I made friends and they started drifting away, I got sick. I got worse. And I got worse because I didn't feel love and attention. And I knew that I felt love and attention if I was worse, because that was my kind of, the people gave me love by me being sick, and then they, not leaving and giving me attention.
Yeah.
So I think it's old habits keeping you kind of in that parts where you're not, yeah, and you don't want to like take the leap. And me going to a psychologist and them saying like, yeah, oh, look at me, I'm healthy. Like I used to battle anorexia, and you have quite an overweight middle-aged woman standing there with like her belly hanging over her pants and telling you like, look at me, I'm healthy, you can be just like me. And that's the worst thing you want to hear. You don't want to hear that. You don't want to listen to someone that looks totally opposite of what you want to look like tell you like, I'm happy, look at
Yeah.
me, because I wanted to like scream you're fat and run out of there. Like, what do you think? I think I'm fat. So looking at you, what do you think I think you look like? Yeah. So yeah, it's also you're scared of being healthy. You're scared of getting better. You're scared of what is healthy. You don't know it. You build this identity of you being sick and you being the way you are.
Yeah.
And for me, I also built my identity of my sickness, and everything I went through made me the person I am today. And I think I'm a quite good person. And taking kind of that away, would that change me? Would that like make me into another person that I am today? But then it was quite a battle with myself before I actually decided that I want this gone and I want to live my life and I want to be in the cockpit taking control, because now I'm a passenger in my own life, and that's wrong. I can take the control, but I just need to actually take the step and do it. And I wanted it and I did it. Because yeah, being a passenger your whole life is shit. You're always arguing with the cockpit because you're like, oh, I want to go there, I want to go there, and they're like, no, we're in control. Yeah.
Well said. I was enjoying this speech, guys. I really like yeah, I feel really relaxed, and that's because I did the story. I knew the story already, so it hit me already. It's still a crazy story, but now I see you happy and preaching. I'm like, let's go. The mic is there. Very nice. Let's do it a little bit like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're now, instead of the passenger, you're in the cockpit deciding where you're going.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel after all those? I mean, like you're 25 now. It was like 15 years of challenges.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you look back,
It's insane.
and intense challenges,
It's
almost
yeah.
dying.
Yeah, that's also one of them.
Like you've been in dark places.
I've been in dark
Now
places.
it's very light and green and sunny.
Yeah.
It's literally dark, light. It's the opposite.
It is. It is the
And
opposite.
it took a lot of year, a lot of year. I mean, that's why you literally can say it made me
Yeah.
the person who I am, because you've,
Yeah.
it's not 1 year, not 2 years, not 3 years, like literally biggest part of your life
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
problematic, right?
Yeah, I'm building my identity on that person that I
Exactly, the
was.
sick
And yeah,
person, yeah.
sick
So
person.
how is it now?
How is it now? Well, the thing is that taking control can also be scary,
Uh-huh.
because all of a sudden you're standing there and you're controlling this whole thing, whole journey, whole aircraft, whole vehicle. You're the top guy all of a sudden, and yeah, and it's scary.
Top girl, that's
Top guy, top girl. Yeah, but it's scary because you're used to kind of always having some voice in your head, like, and that's yeah, trying to protect you basically based on what you thought was right, what you thought was wrong. This is that voice telling you like you should do this, and then you listen, and then you just reinforce it. So next time it's you, of course you're going to do this because it worked the last time. You didn't make a fool of yourself. You're not fat. You're not bloody blah. And all of a sudden, standing there, and you're going to make those decisions yourself. But then I don't know, the hypnotherapy gave me kind of the push to get into the cockpit, because I've been trying to get in there for years with normal therapy and everything, but I still held a bit back because I was scared to take the leap. And then the hypnotherapy kind of shoved me a bit in there. And then I was all of a sudden there with all the buttons and the steering wheel and everything. And then I'm like, shit, what do I do? Because I have no control. I've been living for years just like looking.
yeah.
And now I'm in control, and now I'm structuring my life about the person I want to be and the person that I feel like I should have been all along, and what are my core values, what do I want in life, and everything. I'm just pushing all the right buttons, and if I push a wrong button and I feel like I'm losing a bit of control, I'm just taking back control, because setbacks do happen. And of course sometimes I find myself looking in the mirror and being like, oh, I'm bloated today, I feel like shit. But then I'm like, But it's allowed to be bloated and it's allowed to feel like shit. It's part of being human. Before that sort of feeling would kind of tell me like, oh, you should stay home today because people are going to think that you're fat. And now it's like it's a normal human thing to feel bloated and be bloated. Like I'm a girl, I have my period, I'm bloated, of course. And yeah, just like taking over the control again. I'm not releasing my control. I'm just having it. Yeah, it's mine.
Yeah, exactly. It's yours. Yeah, and also you said like now I'm finally like structuring my life and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's also new. Though it is
It's new.
very can be very scary or
Yeah.
nervous, or you can feel nervous because it's a no, yeah, it's an untapped world, and
Yeah.
yeah, our brain is like, what's gonna happen? But then yeah, after the resistance, there's a lot of the big learning curve,
Yeah.
and the good feelings always come after. It's like jumping off a big cliff or something. You're like, but then you're in the water. Well, this was amazing. And then it's suddenly you feel everything 10 times stronger, all the
Yeah.
good feelings. But you took the leap of faith and the jump. And I respect that. Also, the trust in me, of course.
Yeah.
So, how did you experience that? And then I will also want to know, like, how you now feel on a daily basis. Let's start with that. How do you feel on a daily basis compared to how you felt before the session?
Yeah, that's funny because I don't know, most people and me included are thinking like, oh, you do something so big for yourself, like hypnosis, and the day after, bam, you're gonna be perfect. The
Yeah.
perfect example of yourself.
Yeah.
But the thing that you need to kind of understand and realize is that it's the small changes that absolutely like changes the whole perspective. And for me, it was big changes and it was small changes, but everything combined together is making my everyday so much better. Because before, when I woke up, for me, if I looked in the mirror, I felt horrible, and that was always my first welcome of the day, like feel like shit. And now when I wake up, I feel like I'm rested because I actually ate the night before. I had a good sleep. All of a sudden, my aura ring tells me I'm having good sleep, and I'm like, why? Why is this happening? Because I actually eat. Yeah.
And the orange. Gold.
Gold.
Real gold.
Yeah.
She's one of the few women I know with an orange and a beautiful. She's like, yes.
That's good. No, and all of a sudden I'm having good sleep and my HRV is good and everything that kind of determines what day you will have and based on the day before,
Yes.
what did you do? So my day is starting out better because I slept better and because when I wake up, I look myself in the mirror, I'm like, today is going to be a good day. I have a big sit in the middle of my eyebrows, but today is going to be a nice day. I'm still going to be able to do my work. Like that sit is not going to make me not be able to type on my computer.
That's true.
And also go to the gym. People are not going to give a shit that I have a sit in the middle of my eyebrows. It's only me. I'm the only one that cares. And before that would break me. Before I would be like, oh, I look horrible. I have a sit on my face. And when I'm then trying to sit down and work, I would be like, oh, I hope people are not looking at me. Like, oh my God, like, look at this. And that draws attention. Like, you see a girl sitting like this, then it draws attention. And if she's just smiling and being herself, you're not going to realize that she has a sit in the middle of her eyebrows. Basically, yeah. So that's the start of the day.
I'm trying to keep my laugh, but yeah, that's good.
It's allowed to laugh.
That's funny.
But it is, yeah. But for me, that was a serious issue before, and I can laugh about it now.
Yeah.
But before I couldn't. Before it was horrible. And before, if I told Mike and he was like, oh my God, just get over it already, I didn't feel support. I didn't feel like he acknowledged me, saw me, because I was having a valid, real feeling that I have a sit between my eyebrows and this is ruining my fucking day. Because it was real for me. It was so real. It was traumatizing. Because, and why? Why would I let that have control of me? Because I wasn't in the cockpit. I didn't decide. It was all the old things, the old beliefs, the old everything that was controlling where I was going that day. And now I'm in control. And now I'm allowed to say, like, when a teeny tiny voice in the back of the plane says like, hey, you have a sit on your face, then I can just say, shut up, still going. Yeah, I'm in control. And before I wasn't. And before that took control over me. And then I reacted abnormally. I overreacted over having that and letting that crash down my day. And of course, people around me were going to be like, why is that such a big deal? Unless they're going through it themselves.
Exactly.
Because then they know. And yeah, just knowing that a teeny tiny thing like that can actually make it or break it in your day because your belief system in your brain is so completely ruined from what you've experienced and what you've put yourself through as younger, and having the possibility to just change that like this in one hypnosis session is insane.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's insane.
That's actually, before we dive into that, because
Yeah.
I'm very passionate as you about it,
Yeah.
is that you told me about, like, yeah, that one thing can ruin your whole day, and
Yeah.
it sounds like for me that there was no self-acceptance, so everything had to be perfect,
Yeah.
and that's never possible, so it will always be wrong.
Yeah. And also, if I woke up in the morning, felt okay, actually ate breakfast because I felt okay, and I felt like, oh, I deserve the breakfast because it was deserving food as well. So I deserved the breakfast because I did something the day before. Maybe I went for a walk or whatever, and then I deserved my breakfast, and then I could eat. And afterwards, I of course felt like shit. And during, I had to watch a TV show or something because if not, I realized I was eating. And if I realized I was eating, I was losing my appetite more and more.
Yeah.
And it was just
See.
a never-ending bad circle. And then if I woke up with a sit, I wouldn't eat because I didn't feel good enough to.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I know you told me, like, you never had appetite for food. You didn't eat fruits. You didn't eat
No.
vegetables. You just ate sugar and sweets.
Yeah.
Wow, but you're still so alive is
And like,
insane.
yeah, poisoning your body basically with
Oh, yeah.
just shit, which is absolutely not a good thing.
Your body's like, whoa, this is amazing.
Yeah, I know.
Although, because after the session, tell me. So you had to, can you
Yeah.
describe it short?
Yeah.
Because you can never tell 1.5 hours of hypnosis,
True.
because it took like,
Yeah.
instead of, in total 2 hours with the pre-talk.
Yeah, that's true.
But can you tell us about how you experienced the short, the hypnosis itself?
Just up from like when I decided I wanted to do hypnosis, or
No, like the session itself,
so
because you wanted it.
Yeah.
Was a little like you were nervous, but you wanted it.
Yeah,
And then
I
we
wanted
were
it,
there.
so I was
And how did you experience that?
well, first of all, it was very calming because I kind of knew you, I trusted you already, and you're a very easy person to trust. You're a very kind spirit, and you can sense it, you can feel it when you're in the room. So that's nice. So I was already quite calm. I'm usually a very anxious
Okay.
person, nervous
Appreciate it.
person. I'm a
Oh,
nervous
yeah.
person.
Hey, she learned like words,
But,
keywords.
yeah, but yeah, it was weird having that talk before because I kind of already knew the answers to everything we were talking about, but just having that conversation with someone so willing to help you and let you open up and asking the perfect questions for me, like the perfect questions that fit exactly the criteria I wanted to tell, helped me kind of navigate those things. And as I said earlier in this podcast, I said that when we had the conversation, I realized that my like love language was that I was starving myself so that I could feel love.
Yeah.
And that was an eye awakener for me. Like I figured that out during our conversation. And it wasn't you that figured it out, it was me. I used my own words to actually come up with this, but you guided me to find those words. And yeah, that was quite amazing that I figured that out by that conversation. So that's nice. And then, yeah, the hypnosis itself, which is also a bit scary because you don't actually know what to expect, and you've heard about hypnosis on TV shows and everything, and people going around cracking like chickens on a stage. But that was not it, and I knew that from before. But yeah, it was a yeah, a good conversation. It was everything, and then you're going into hypnosis. I felt like I was in hypnosis for 7 minutes, but how long was I actually in hypnosis? I think 30, 40?
Yeah, 40,
40
45.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt like time was just flying by. I didn't fall asleep, but it felt like, yeah, I felt calm. Yeah, I felt calm and completed, and it was just relaxing. It was the first time I relaxed in a long time. It shut my brain a bit off. Actually shut it a lot off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was, yeah,
Great.
it was nice. Yeah.
Great. Very positive.
Very positive
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. Very relaxed. Most people see, like,
Yeah.
if you trust someone, you can relax, and then
Yeah.
your subconscious can be opened. The critical filter shuts down because,
That's true.
yeah, it's does its job, but not in this case because it's reinforcing old beliefs. And then you were like, finally, chill, no thinking.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
relax.
And then we changed the program, like,
Yeah.
and then you woke up. How did you feel the days after?
Well, we can start by
The
right
big,
after. Yeah.
whoa, yeah. That's why I asked.
It's
Right after was
funny.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah. No, so usually, so we have a street that we were driving down after. And that street, I've been driving down that street for quite a lot of times, and there's this food place there. And I always hated this food place because it smelled so much like food. And I was always like holding my breath when we came closer. And then afterwards, like when we passed it, I was breathing in the exhaust and I was like, oh, I love the smell of exhaust because it's amazing because it dives out the food smell. Because the food smell made me feel like overly emotional about food, and I lost my appetite and blah 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 because it smelled like food, and I don't like I had no good relationship with food. So everything that smelled like food, people are like, oh, it smells so good. And I'm like, no, I hate it. I'm getting sick, nauseous. And then we were driving down that street and I caught myself like just smelling that food. I didn't hold my breath. I didn't think of it because I was quite tired in my brain from the hypnosis. So we were just driving and I smelled it and I was like, what is this smell? Why does it smell so good? I was like, what is this? And then
Food.
yeah, and then we drove like past and the food slowly got switched out to like the exhaust again. And usually before that would make me so happy, but now I was missing it. I was missing that smell of the food, and that's when I realized like, wow, this is a normal human behavior. This is everyone like when they say like, oh my, it smelled like food, it was so good, and I've never understood that before that time, and that was right after. It's insane. It's insane.
That was funny because I was on a motorbike.
Yeah.
She was behind me. Mike was in the cafe
Restaurant, yeah.
restaurant.
Alright.
And so we're here in the other house, by the way.
Yeah.
And then I brought you there.
Yeah.
So and then we laughed because she was like, "Oh, that smells good." I was like, "Hey, that's different, huh?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm hungry." I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." And then
It's actually feeling hunger.
yeah, and
Which
then
is also funny
in the
then-
hypnosis.
Yeah,
Sorry, Tommy.
watermelon.
Yeah, but now we're enthusiastic because in the
Yeah.
hypnosis, I told her, "What do you like to eat?" And she's like, "Watermelon."
And I don't know why I said
And
watermelon.
she never ate watermelon,
No.
but you want it.
Yeah, I wanted
And
to.
then what you did,
Yeah,
and how was it?
it was amazing.
Yeah, but you ate like the whole plate. How was the face?
Yeah.
The face of mine.
It was, I don't know, he was so shocked, but he was trying not to show me because he was like being respectful.
Exactly.
So he was like, yeah, playing it cool. And you saw like he was like a kid on Christmas Eve. He was so happy.
What did you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was insane. I was happy because
was
you
insane.
finally, yeah, and then you laughed, and then I saw you the day after.
Yeah, that's also true.
You felt,
Yeah,
yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah, just felt amazing. Yeah, I was all of a sudden eating and I was all of a sudden eating without the guilt. And
yeah,
also for me, like because of my hypersensitivity as a child and developing kind of that belief that I don't like texture and the texture is it's horrible for me. And now like the texture doesn't bother me anymore. Like I could eat eggs on bread, but I couldn't eat eggs. I like the taste of eggs, but not pure egg. And now like I can just make myself scrambled eggs and eat it with a spoon. It's no problem. And before that was a major issue. So
you just eat
I just eat.
like everything.
Yeah, I eat everything.
That's amazing. I saw her in
Still
Nirvana.
no fish. I haven't tried it yet. So
Ah,
I
but
should.
you haven't tried it. Hey, but you eat
Don't.
meat, you eat eggs, you eat
Yeah.
fruit, you eat vegetables. I mean,
Yeah.
I saw you eating like the pancakes with fruits, and you were like, and
Um,
I only laughed like,
yeah,
this is great. You were
yeah,
like enjoying it.
amazing.
Mike was like, hey, Mike's still gonna kiss my feet, by the
yeah,
way.
he has to. So
That's an
it-
inside joke. They're still not kissed.
no.
So yeah,
Yeah.
words can't describe like how that made you feel me because I was very, very happy. And I see you like I see you a lot like last
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
So it's like every time like yeah, it's
I'm
different.
happy.
Yeah, I'm happy. But this is what we wanted and now
Yeah.
it is there and now so also I knew you were building a community with to support women in their journey because before we did the sessions, she already told me like she gained like 15 kilograms. You gained 15 kilograms on willpower. That's insane. that's where I'm like, that's you're built different because yeah, 29 kilograms,
Yeah.
eat a lot,
Yeah.
so your willpower is strong,
Yeah.
and that's great because you use it in life, but it's not healthy, of course. It's not sustainable because you're fighting with a
Yeah.
demon, and every time you win the fight, but at a certain point, it's done. Like you're empty, and
Yeah.
then yeah, you reached maybe a goal of kilograms, but you're
But on what cost, basically?
that's it. The cost is big.
Yeah, because
You,
that's
I mean, you
what
had
we were talking about.
yeah, yeah,
That when we were gonna do the session, you said kind of to me, yeah, why should you do it now?
yeah,
And trying not to put words into my mouth because it wasn't a sales pitch, it was more to
yeah,
kind of get to know me and for me to get to know myself a bit. And I thought, yeah, why should I do it now? And I've been battling like hardcore for the last, like especially the last year. I gained 15 kilos in 1 year.
wow,
But why should every day be about my eating? Why should
yeah,
every day be a constant battle? Because it was for me. Every day I was waking up with 40% battery and eating all that meals, the meals I was eating, and trying to cope with that mentally was draining me. And then I was on -10 when I went to bed. And what did I do during the day? I ate. That's it. I couldn't walk my dog properly. Like I wasn't a good. I have a dog. I felt like I was kind of losing that because I was battling everything else. I didn't have time for anything else in my life. Of course, I had Mike, and we were kind of working everything together, and he was very supportive in me going through this battle. But this battle was hard, and it's been hard all those years. But now I was really determined, like you said, the willpower. But the problem is, I used all that willpower to just focus on me and focus on my food. And I thought like maybe after a few months it's going to be better, but it wasn't. I still had to fight that daily battle every day, every day, every day, every night. I couldn't sleep. I was anxious. I was fighting with myself. I was at war for so long, and then I had a session with you, and it's just no longer a war. Now I have all the energy in the world. I'm sleeping better, as we spoke about, and I have all the energy in the world to focus on my business, my dog, my relationship, my primarily work. I can focus on work and relations to my friends and family, which I never had kind of the extra energy for, because that's like the extra energy. And I was using all of my energy on focusing on getting myself through the day and surviving yet another day. And now that's no longer an issue. I'm just surviving like a normal human, and now I can kind of just focus my attention elsewhere.
yeah,
Yeah. And I feel happy, and I have time to feel happy. And before, if I ever felt happy, there was a voice in my head telling me you're not allowed to feel happy.
yes,
And now I'm allowed to feel happy, and I'm deciding whatever I want to feel.
yeah.
It's nice.
The
Yeah.
cockpit. Yeah, from surviving to thriving.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Yeah,
Absolutely.
you're living.
Yeah.
And with all the energy, you're working a lot now. I see it
I'm
building a
working.
community. Do you want to tell more? Because
Yeah.
of course, after all this happened, I was like, you should help women with this.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of I've saw it in my career already
Yeah.
around me.
Yeah.
A lot of women with challenges regarding to food.
Yeah.
You know it.
Know it,
You
yeah.
know, you see it, you hear
Yeah.
it. So what is your mission? What are you about to do?
So my mission is I want to build a community to support a lot of women. I've already started building it, but I'm gonna take some time to build it because I want it to be valuable. And I don't want to just open something a bit chaotic. I want the women that actually are going to be in there to find support, to find value and everything. And I'm building it into different categories, and I want to create a space for the people that do or have done hypnotherapy. So that's going to be like a separate space in the community so that they can find each other and talk about their experiences, their ups and downs, and everything to grow together. Because online, you don't advertise like, oh, I did hypnotherapy, at least I didn't. So I don't know if my friends did it because it's not something we speak about. But in that community, you can find like-minded people that's gone through kind of the same thing that you have. And also the other part of the community is going to be focused on how to be a woman in today's society, like with fitness, with lifestyle. It's going to be how to plan your day based on your cycle, when you should do fasting based on your cycle, a lot about how to be a woman, and women supporting women is going to be lifestyle and fitness advice. It's going to be hacks for young moms that needs to put fitness into their lifestyle. It's going to be for older women that's going through menopause. How should they put fitness in, and how should they pressure their body? Because now they're going through a change as well. It's yeah, it's just going to basically target every kind of woman and be divided into sections, and where everyone can find, yeah, learning and motivation from each other.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's my goal, and a few courses in there that I'm gonna
exactly.
build. Yeah,
Cool plans.
yeah,
What is your wish for those women?
that they can thrive and never feel alone. And there are so many invisible diseases out there. Invisible diseases, as in, yeah, mental or just chronic illness. Like me with my fibromyalgia, I'm in pain. I look like a totally normal human being, but that's pain free. But I am in pain, and I want to create somewhere where it's safe to say that out loud and say that I plan to go to the gym today, but my body is letting me down, and I cannot, and that is okay. And that also, okay, but what do I do then if I cannot go to the gym? I still want to be active. Is there anything else I can do? And then maybe asking the community, what would you recommend me doing? People sharing, kind of, yeah, just being part of a team and not feeling alone. Before you had your soccer team, before you had your gymnastics team or your classmates saying like, oh, I'm gonna go because she's going, and now I want to build that for older people, because we kind of lose that when we grow up. And yeah, I think it's a shame that we lose that team spirit.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can agree on it.
yeah,
The best times were with my teams.
yeah. That's
Literally,
true.
never alone.
Yeah,
And that's why they say sharing is caring.
yeah,
So it's about growing and supporting each other.
yeah, definitely.
That's beautiful. And also with your experiences, your belief system, with
Yeah,
what you've been through, I'm sure you can help them because
yeah,
you know how it is to be. You literally know
yeah,
some years, so you know how to go from A to B, the
yeah,
challenges, and how you can help them and support them. So I trust in it. And yeah, this is also
yeah.
that this conversation is also to let them know that the woman that listen,
Yeah,
or maybe you're a guy and
that's
as a woman or a friend, a girlfriend, that yeah, Maren, in my opinion, is the right person to go to because she can listen well. She literally talks out of experience. There's
yeah,
no
that's
better
true.
advice. And then next to that, she has the knowledge also because you know more than I thought. I didn't know you know so much about psychology. It was a point that I said like, how do you know all of this? It was like I was talking to someone who had read the same things as I did, and I do this work for 7+ years.
Yeah,
And it's like I did this work. I read about this and that, and now you're learning hypnosis also.
yeah,
So
that's true.
yeah, if you're listening and you're like, this is something that interests me, and I want to be like Maren, go through, yeah, from surviving to thriving to living, then contact us because we can help, and you have the best support out here.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't hesitate because yeah, don't suffer. I
Yeah,
hope,
why suffer?
yeah,
Why?
I hope people don't suffer too long before they realize.
Yeah, I did, but I didn't know
Exactly.
this, and that's why we do this, because when you don't know, you just do what you think is
Exactly.
best.
You repeat it. Yeah.
And now I just think that just spread it out because it helps so much.
Yeah.
And you can go to psychologists for like 10 years plus and be like halfway fixed, or you can go to hypnotherapy with you and maybe have 1 to 2 sessions and then 10 years of work. But it's just, and not even 10 years, your whole life,
No, really.
because this sticks your whole life and it's insane. You're
Yeah.
just like scratching away like the negative things in your brain, you're changing them out for positives, and then you just like wake up and then you're like, hello, now
Yeah.
I can eat, or now
Yeah.
I'm confident with myself, I'm happy with myself, like I'm sitting here in front of a camera for the first time basically
So
in
good.
my life. Yeah, and
So good.
comfortable. I'm okay. I was a bit nervous, what we spoke about.
Was.
I was a bit nervous, but then as you said, like it's just you need to try it,
Go into it.
and yeah, just do it. And
Yeah.
I know for a fact 3 months ago, when before my session, I would not come here today. I would say, because you suggested we can do it without the photo, like without the image, and then I would say yeah, yeah. But today I was like, no, I need to do this. Yeah,
Well done.
yeah. So yeah, it's like the women, they just need to do this. They need to just face it
Yeah.
head on and just be rid of the problem. Because why hold yourself back? You're the
Exactly.
one holding yourself back. It's no one else. It's you. It's your mind. Your mind is holding you back, and we are basically here giving you the tools to release that hold and get you in the cockpit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said. Yeah. So I know that it's not caused by yourself. Most of the time you don't cause it because you just don't know, but
Yeah.
the responsibility is always with us, with you, with
Yeah.
us. You took the responsibility.
I did.
I did it with my problems, and so should do everybody. If you want to solve it, you have to, at the end, with some help, you have to choose it and then do it.
Yeah.
Well said. Thank you for coming and explaining. I mean, thank you. Very valuable. And yeah, where can we find you?
Instagram is where you can find me for now. At Webdoll.
Okay, we'll put it in the description.
Yeah.
That's not Webdal.
Webdoll, yeah, last name.
It's not easy. She's from Norwegian and
He's
Norway. Oh shit, Norway. Ah, from Norway. I'm Dutch.
Yeah.
Ah shit. But she speaks Norwegian. That's what I wanted to say.
I speak Norwegian.
But her English is so good that people think she's English.
That's also true.
Yeah.
sometimes, yeah.
So that's why I say Norwegian, because I want to talk about the language, that your English is so good. So yeah, Webdal is a name from Norway.
Yeah, that's true.
Fun story.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, and we'll put out all the information in the description. Also my Instagram. Follow me to see more of this, of course. And if you have hypnosis related questions, yeah, hit me up. I'm ready to answer. If you want to know more about the community that she's building and creating,
Yeah.
very valuable. Hit up
Yeah.
Maren. Thank you for watching or listening, and see you next time. Thanks.